first want to ask you, over the weekend, the Senate obviously passed this latest coronavirus relief package, a nearly $2 trillion bill. You did not vote for this, but you are claiming one victory in that you were able to block relief funds from going towards Planned Parenthood. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, the budget bill is very tricky. This is called budget reconciliation. It's not really a budget at all, but they start out with a budget and then they replace it with all the COVID bailout money. But they've been trying to get this PPP money, which is this loan program that's supposed to be for small businesses. Planned Parenthood has been trying to suck up that money. But the original rules were written and it said big organizations like Planned Parenthood were not eligible. So what Planned Parenthood was doing was an end to run around. They were saying, well, what about our individual Planned Parenthood of Louisville or Jacksonville or Houston or whatever? We'll apply individually and we'll pretend to be a small business, even though we're under the umbrella of Planned Parenthood, which is a very big business. And so we took this issue to the parliamentarian, and the parliamentarian in this one particular instance has enormous power, and she makes the decision what can be left in the bill and what can't be, what is really pertinent to the budget. We argued that this was an end run around the rules and that Planned Parenthood wasn't eligible. And lo and behold, we convinced the parliamentarian and that part of the bill was stripped out.
Now, House Democrats also passed another big priority for the Biden administration, the Equality Act. Many conservatives have said that this is a deceptively named bill. What do you think about the Equality Act, and what happens when this bill comes to the Senate?
I don't think it'll get many Republican votes. It might get one or two. I don't think they can get 60. So as long as the filibuster is intact, I think we can stop it. And this is really important because some people, who are big supporters of President Trump, and even President Trump were like, they were mad when Republicans were in charge. Oh, we got to get rid of the filibuster. No, most of us who watch things going on up here who are pro-life know that the filibuster is incredibly important because this is how we stop really bad things from becoming law. So this Equity Act would allow people to basically sue over if a boy thinks they're a girl and then someone says, oh, you're fired me because I think I'm a boy or I think I'm a girl, that kind of stuff. You can see that it would sort of be difficult for a religious institution that has traditional values at core and wants, they hire teachers to teach their children that they just think that that's unacceptable. And I think that is your right as a religious institution to make that. But if this becomes the law, you're going to have all these lawsuits, when a boy goes to a girls' Catholic school, does the boy get to stay in the dorm? Can he sue this boy if he doesn't get to stay in the girls' dormitory? There's all kinds of things that are going to happen. And the court hasn't fully decided these things, but this Equity Act would go a long way towards the Congress saying, well, yeah, you can't discriminate at all. And I think it actually hurts people. And people don't realize this, that when you make laws protecting people, employers can spot who those people are and then are less likely to hire them if they know there's a lawsuit waiting to happen. So most of the laws that protect any kind of class of people, I think, backfire because employers say, protected means lawsuit. Maybe I'd be better off not getting in the problem of it. They never say anything, but actually I think it is a disincentive to hire people in these protected classes. And I think equal rights ought to be everybody the same, no matter the color of your skin, no matter your personal background or anything. Everybody ought to be treated fairly. And I think there is a way to do that without having special categories developed.
Now, you recently made some headlines for your questions during Rachel Levine's confirmation hearings. Some people even accused you of being transphobic. What is your response to that? And what are your concerns with Levine serving as the Assistant Secretary of Health?
None of my questions had anything to do with the person, with Dr. Levine or Dr. Levine's history of changing her sex or changing her outward sexual appearance. I never even questioned that at all. It was never brought up. So I wonder how the left can say it was some sort of hateful diatribe. I asked a really important, incredibly important question. Should minors be able to make the decision to take hormones to stop their puberty or hormones to change their sexual appearance and without their parents' permission, or even overriding their parents' permission? Their parents say no and a 10-year-old says yes. Are we going to take a 10-year-old's opinion over their parents? That's very, very worrisome. She wouldn't answer the question at all. She just said, oh, it was complicated. And she'd come and talk to me privately in the office, but she wasn't willing to say whether or not a 10-year-old could overturn their parents' decision. And I think any of us who have had children would think it would be bizarre for a 10-year-old to make decisions about their life, particularly, life altering decisions like taking the hormones from an opposite sex, which is not reversible. They're giving 14 to 16-year-old girls huge doses of testosterone, enough to grow a beard. Your face doesn't go back to looking like a girl's face. And look, if you're an adult and you want to make those decisions, I'm not going to make a law saying you can't. But for kids, you shouldn't be able to do that without your parents' decision.